Russo-Italiano sponsors Boxing Bros UK.
It's showtime!
Hello, everybody. This is Boxing Bros UK. I am Ahis, the boss, Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew, the boxing brain. And today's topic is the all-female card that happened on Friday. Was it Friday?
Saturday, I think. Saturday night, wasn't it?
Was it Saturday night? Oh, yeah.
Friday, Saturday, one of them.
One of them. So we start off from the bottom. There's not really much to say about each fight, to be honest. But, you know, Hennessey, Francesca Hennessey. Like,
7-8 girl.
Yeah, she's like, and Bradley Skeet, he lives in Coventry. Do you know Bradley Skeet? I know him. Like, his daughter lives in Coventry, and so do my kids. And he used to live in Bromley, where I did, and I always used to see him when I was getting a train to pick my kids up. Nice guy. I've got a picture with him actually. He's a nice guy. But anyway, bit of useless information. But yeah, Hennessey, she's got everything: switch hitting,
skillful,
good hand speed, good skills, reflexes. But the only one thing that she hasn't got is the power. She hasn't got the power.
Female boxing in general, mate. No power. Speed, accuracy, and no power.
Like the fight, yeah, it was. I was getting bored because you had one girl, Francesca. The fight reminded me of, you know when there's a fly buzzing around you, you can't hit the thing and kill it, no matter how hard you try, and it just keeps fucking buzzing around you, and there's nothing you can do. No matter how hard you try, you keep swiping it, newspapers, missing it, and it keeps coming back and buzzing around you. That's what that fight was like. And Francesca was the fly, just buzzing around, and her opponent just couldn't hit her, and that's what it was all night.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And
like trying to nail jelly to a wall, wouldn't she?
And but I do think that she might have a little bit of power because she's terrified of holding her feet. If you watch her fights, it's like...
Mate, all of them are. Outside of Serrano and Katie Taylor, I mean, I'm going to get absolutely crucified for this, but like that, they do not want to plant their feet. If they were to like plant their feet, you know, stand their ground a bit, I reckon like Pride, we'll get onto that in a minute, but there'd probably be a few more stoppages, but it's sort of in and out, they're petrified of being hit after these female fighters, which I understand, but
I think in round 8, fair play, in round 8, she held her feet, and you could, because all them punches, it's like, it doesn't look like you could crack an egg. We see the guy walking on eggs on Britain's Got Talent. It looks like but they're just, there's nothing on them, because no heads are snapping back, no sticks flying anywhere, or any blood. Like, it's just like, they're just, they're
my overall.
Reminds me of amateur boxing. It reminds me of amateur boxing. Just ping, 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 ping. No one's really hurting anyone. No one's going like just It's just a
need that adversity, don't you? I think in combat sports, I think that's why the Katie Taylor Serrano fights have probably been really popular, because they just go to war. These are going to war, and look, and I love the sweet side. We like the sweet. You know, I'm Dmitry Bivol is one of my favourite boxers of all time, and he is a consummate kind of, you know, student of boxing. That's for sure. But I don't know. I think that's the one thing we're lacking in female boxing across the board, across this card. Even with Dubois versus Shin later on, which was an half-decent tear-up. And I think even Dubois alluded to it after Caroline Dubois, that she went against the game plan the last couple of rounds, because I think she wanted to entertain a bit. But even then, it didn't look... If one of them would have been stopped in that fight, I'm getting ahead of myself in these fights, I know. It would have been through exhaustion, not through kind of that...
Yeah.
You know, I mean, other than going back to Hennessey, the other fighter took the fight on 2 days' notice, Ruegg or whatever her name was, the Irish girl. She was game, really game, you know, had solid fundamentals, was just like you said, just trying to nail her down the whole fight. And Hennessey far too skillful. She made a great account of herself on 2 days, and then she had that massive bump on her head, didn't she? And she could have got maybe stopped for that. But this is where, right, I'd have been saying in her corner, and perhaps because we're a bit ruthless, I'd have been saying, look, if you want to go for the stoppage, just keep jabbing that, well in there. Keep jabbing that, make that worse, get the stoppage. But, here we are. Too respectful, perhaps.
But I do feel like that Francesca, she's got the skills, yeah? And I could hear her coaches screaming at her, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Yeah. Right, and hold your feet more. But she just wasn't doing it because even though she hasn't got the power, she can overwhelm people. Just let your hands go. Just stay in the pocket. Let your hands go. Throw 10 because you've already took their soul. They're fucked. Like they've been hitting wind all rounds. So why don't you just let 10 shots go? Bang, 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 bang. 10 unanswered punches. Yeah, 10 unanswered straight punches. That's a TKO. If you can't knock them down, you can fucking do that. Come on. It's Manny Pacquiao,
Yeah, I think it's that just willing to stay on the inside at times. I understand the style. She's a switch hitter. She's got all the skills. She loves to have a little bit of a dance. She wants to put on a show. All of this TikTok generation, Mayweather school, modern boxing that I really don't struggle with. Bring back the 90s, mate. Bring back the slugfest. We like a bit of sweet science now and again, but we can't all be Mayweather and Bivol and Usyk. Do you know what I mean? We also have to remember this is to entertain, and we get onto these like Ben Shalom and Sky Sports love these, DEI, diversity, inclusive, all female cards. And look, great, all the power to them because they're not getting on the Saudi cards. But my argument to that would be, and we'll, hold my hands up if she's watching. We're going to go out and speak to her. But Sky Nicholson had that chance against Raven Chapman, Chris, to really put on a show. And look, I get it. I get her style, right? So before anyone calls me out, she nullifies the opponent. And Raven Chapman is a bit primitive. But the fight stunk the place out. Let's be real. It wasn't a good fight. And I don't know, is that the reason why Turkey hasn't maybe put more females on the fight since? Was he on the bill since? Was he doing Eddie Hearner a favour? But I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. We don't want to go down that road. We don't want to go down.
I'm trying to be careful, but be honest at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. But and actually, we're moving on. The next fight. Chapman, who was she fighting? What was she called? Attington?
She was quite good. Karriss Artingstall, I think. Artingstall, is that?
So really, really, really good. But that was another
one. She was good.
But it was another one, yeah. So you've got a knockdown. Yeah, she's knocked down, not Tracy Chapman. What's she called? It's not called Tracy Chapman.
Raven Chapman, yeah.
Raven Chapman. She's got the knockdown. She's landing the 1-2 because I noticed this. So she kept throwing the 1-2, yeah, and she was landing it sometimes. But then Chapman kept moving. She kept slipping the same way. So I was thinking, when she throws a 1-2, why don't she follow it up with a hook? Because every time you're throwing the 1-2, Chapman's slipping. She's going in the same like. Remember when Canelo did it to Billy Joe Saunders? But Billy Joe Saunders kept feinting one way when Canelo was going to throw something, and then he caught him. So she did it all fight. 1-2.
IQ, innit?
Sometimes miss.
Boxing IQ, Chris.
Yeah, and I was thinking, why isn't in the coaches saying, right, if you land, follow up with the hook, or even if you don't, if you land one of the shots, but obviously don't do it all fight, keep doing the same combination, but every now and again, don't just keep throwing 1-2, 1-2, throw 1-2, follow up with the hook. Because she kept moving that way, and I was thinking, if you time that right, it's over, because she'll be leaning into the hook. But they didn't see it, and she just kept throwing it. Because she was good, like fast feet. But again, fast feet, fast hands, and then the other one's a plodder. The talent pool in women's boxing is not very deep. So all the fights are all the same. Like there's always one really good one and one not so good one, and it's just a mismatch most of the time. And that's the problem.
It's getting there. It's getting there, and those sort of shows are going to help the female game. And look, I know I've been a bit critical, but I'll try and be a bit balanced here. There are some superstars in the sport. Sky Nicholson, Katie Taylor, Serrano, Sandy Ryan. Could Maya. There are some ones in there. You know, Caroline Dubois, I think is, you know, and now Lauren Price. But what I was going to, you know, you brought up a good point about coming in with a hook because she's slipping to the same, because it's just basic physics, isn't it?
Chapman, she kept doing it. Obviously, no, it was this way. She kept going like this.
Yeah.
Every time she threw the 1-2, she was dodging it that way. Sometimes she was taking a bit, blocking a bit, parrying it, but she was going the same way every time.
Yeah,
because she was landing, but then she was landing it and then taking a step back, then coming again, throwing it again. Instead of, okay, you've landed it this time. Let's, instead of throwing a 1-2, let's throw 3 punches. And then let's reset again and let's do 4 or 5. Like, there was just
so the reason I was
1-2,
kind of coming off the back of what you're saying, it because the reason why that's effective is because it's basic physics, right? If you have 2 cars, we don't like to see this in the world, but if you've got 2 cars, if a car crashes into the wall at 30 miles per hour, you obviously stand more chance of there's less impact. If you have 2 cars coming at 30 miles an hour colliding, it's a combination, so it's 60 miles per hour combined. So it's just basic physics. If your head's going that way, you've got to have the IQ to be able to download that and know that as they're slipping it, coming with a hook, then you're meeting it head on. So that you're getting. So this is where I think with a few fighters in the field, just where they obviously haven't been doing it as long as the men, it's still a relatively new sport for the women.
Yeah.
When they start to realise this, staying in the pocket, staying in the range, maybe being a bit braver at times. You've got to be brave anyway to step in the ring. Just those little things, like you're saying, those little elements, you're going to get more stoppages then. And just the way the sport works is a brutal sport. You start getting more stoppages, people are going to watch the sport more, because this is why we don't watch MMA to see them go, nobody to get hurt on that. This part is blood sport. It's blood sport. That's what it is. And every single fight on the card went the distance.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a problem. It's always what I'm trying to say. It's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, for sure. And there was times like Francesca, if she should have got her out of there round 7, round 8, should have stopped that girl.
She could have stopped her.
100%.
I agree.
She could have stopped him. And then onto the next fight, Jonas versus Price. I think Price could have stopped. She could have stopped her. Like, she was really, really good. Let her the hand speed on this chick, mate. Oh my God. Wow. This is faster than Amir Khan. This is next level. She's amazing. But she's another one. Why don't you just let the clip go in the later rounds? Because she, like, Natasha Jonas, her guard's wide, her elbow, her guard's dropped. She's knackered. She can't, like, this let 8-10 punching combinations go, and then you'll stop them from throwing so many shots that she's not answering and close the show, instead of just boxing in and out, and watching
respect, maybe
Natasha Jonas all around like this, trying to land, and like Joe Gallagher, his advice weren't the best. Like, all he kept doing was saying, keep tucked up, and then when she unloads, try and time her on the last punch, or roll under the last shot and try and time her with the backhand. That's what he kept telling her every round.
Yeah.
Wait, tuck up tight, defense, stay with her, and then time her. But it wasn't working. It didn't. She never hit her with that backhand. Not once did she hit her with that backhand. And even if she did, it didn't do nothing. So how can you be giving someone the same shitty advice? Yeah, just time her with the backhand. So you want someone to unload on your fighter, and then after they finish taking all these shots, throw one punch. And what if that misses? And you just wasted like a minute of the round, letting someone unload on you to try and throw one punch and miss it. And then while she was waiting for that on that strategy, she's trying to set that trap, she was losing rounds. And then she just couldn't do anything. She didn't even look like she wanted to be there. It looked like a sparring partner who's just trying not to get knocked out, sparring a world champion who's in a training camp getting ready for the fight. It was really bad. She was really slow. I feel bad for her because I do like Natasha Jonas and she was a good fighter. But like you say, Father Time waits for no man. It's like she just got turned like 90 years old overnight in the ring, and it does happen.
Yeah. There's a few points I wanted to make in this fight. I mean, maybe there was a bit because I know they respected each other a lot. And I know Price really respects her, and she respects what a lot of these fighters have done for the sport. And she's, you know, a young head coming into it. And perhaps that's why she maybe didn't want to go all that, because she looked like she could have done that for 24 rounds. I mean, the fitness on her, the hands, but the fast twitch muscle fibers, fuck, you know. As an S&C coach, Chris, you must have been quite pleased with that. All them fast twitch muscle fibers in full flow there.
I just thought, yeah, amazing. I think she's amazing. I do, but
yeah, she's made me a big fan of hers. Actually, I did look. Rob McCracken's obviously a trainer, great trainer. Obviously, Flotch, AJ, you know, been on the Olympic kind of route back in the day. You know, real legendary coach. Joe Gallagher's a good coach. I do agree with you. I think he was just that little bit calmer, you know, round by round, you know, he was sort of talking to Price, just take it round by round, just, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Scorecards were a little bit generous on Jonas, I thought. I mean, Lauren Price, it is Lauren, isn't it? What do I keep thinking her name's not Lauren? Yeah, Lauren Price.
Did one of them score? Did one of them score at a draw? No, that wasn't. No, that was
no, but one of them was a bit.
We'll get on to that.
Lauren Price hadn't lost a round going into this fight. She hadn't lost one round, which is unbelievable stat. I actually think I don't think Jonas won. I didn't give her any rounds in this fight.
No, not one round.
I thought it was very generous.
20 seconds. I don't think she won 30 seconds of any round.
She looked all of 40. I mean, she kept saying in the build-up and the gloves are off that, you know, timing beats power and this and that and my IQ this. Look, and I get she was going by what Gallagher was saying in the corner. But where was that IQ in the ring? She wasn't adapting. She wasn't making any adjustments. She kept doing I'm just going to say it as it is. She was doing, because even the commentators are saying it, but they have to be unbiased. She was doing the same fucking thing round after round, walking in, throwing one shot. You know, she said after the fight, I couldn't get my shots off. She was beating me to the punch every time. Okay, we'll go and that's probably going to be your last fight, right? You got family, you got daughters, I get it. Go out on your shield then. Go out on your shield. I know it's easy for me to say, I'm not in the ring, right? And I'll always say that. Go out on your shield then, but like having a go. Like, I just petrified of being clipped. You know, Lauren Price, I think, sensed that a bit and respects her. So she kept, you know, because the thing is with Lauren Price, as good as she is, she is very basic. It's just double jab, right hand, you know, or whatever. It's just two jabs and a straight.
She let her hands go sometimes, though, to be fair to
her. And she, great right. I think her right hook was really effective as well. But she's basic, but she does the basics exceptionally well. Like watch the fundamentals she does really, really well. And at the end of the day, like in all sports, Chris, if you can do the basics really, really well, like it's not rocket science, a lot of these sports, then it's going to be really effective. And I don't see anyone fancying fighting her. Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
And the way, and women's boxing, like the talent pool is not very good. So like, it's easy for them to just fight anyone they want, because like all these women that are fighting, most of the women that fight, even on the world champions and like the really high profile fights, they've got second jobs. Like it's not their first job. Like a lot of them.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's not, there's very few. So it just makes it difficult. And when there is good ones, fair play to the ones that fight each other, because a lot of them, they ain't going to want to fight each other. No way.
Yeah.
No way. It's like, I think Shannon Courtney was supposed to be fighting Francesca, but then she bottled it.
But she had a terrible. She lost.
Yeah, she had a bit of a to-do, didn't she? Yeah.
I think she's finished. She's another one. I'm not sure her head's in a game. She's weird. She's coming overweight in fights, blaming it on hormones and I don't know, like weird.
Her fight with Ebony Bridges, I love that fight. That was an awesome fight. But
what's going on with Ebony Bridges? I mean, she must be 40 now, Ebony Bridges. So I don't know what's going on with her. But...
Right, let's get on to the last one.
That was the last one.
No, we got Caroline Dubois.
Yeah, but Price Jonas was the main event. So yeah, we go
was
to
it?
main event, but it doesn't
shit,
matter.
Sorry. Yeah, it
Doesn't matter. No.
That's the order I watched them in. Yeah, sorry. So
no,
yeah,
that's all right. Yeah.
Caroline Dubois. Oh my God. All I've got to say is Shin. What a chin. A Shin got fucking
Chin the chin.
Like, I feel like this is another one, yeah. That Shin, she has got so much heart and desire and will. Like, I really wish that she had a better boxing coach. Because with that fucking chin, if she could learn the basics, just like tighten up your guard, bit of lateral movement, bit of head movement, just the basics, she could be a really good fighter because the talent pool in the women's boxing isn't very good. And with the will and the chin that she's got, just if someone could teach her the fundamentals, just the basics, neaten them up a little bit, she could go far. Because I couldn't believe she's obviously lost every single round, and the way that she was going at it in the last 2 rounds, like she was trying, and she did it to Bassoon as well. Just fucking no technique, just trying to steamroll him, and she did. If someone give her a chance, get a good boxing coach, she could do well. Because like fair play to her. She's made a fan of me just for the sheer desire.
Yeah, impressive.
It was it's one of them.
Yeah, the resilience was impressive, as you say. Like you got to give her credit when we're kind of talking about, some of these girls at the moment, like these talented fighters in the girl ranks, not maybe kind of setting their feet and willing to go to war to get those stoppages. I'm not entertained. You have to remember, it's the Colosseum in there. It's not all about the sweet sides all the time. People, all these punters they're wanting to see blood and war, blood, guts and horror. It's like John Fury, wasn't it? Blood, guts and horror. That's what we want to see a little bit,
For sure.
But Dubois is a talented fighter. She's I think she came in, from what I gather, I think she was really quite ill leading up to it, but was determined to. So I think she completely emptied her tank in there as well. Well scored by Shane McGuigan. I think in the last couple of rounds she got very ragged, coming sort of square on and wanted to have a bit of a I think she was wanting to entertain a little bit. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, that fight, I mean, it was just 2 game girls going at it. I mean, the first 8 or 9 rounds, Dubois just was it a 12 rounder or a 10 rounder? I think it was 10.
They're all 10. They're only 10.
They're all 10. They don't do 12 rounds, do they, generally?
No.
10 2-minute rounds. Oh, that's the one thing I would say about women's boxing, because I do prefer the men's, and perhaps I'm being a bit biased, but the one thing I would say is that in those 2-minute rounds, you've got to get a lot of work done. So they do tend to be a bit more busy. You see sometimes, particularly at heavyweight, sometimes nothing happens. The first 3 rounds, nothing happens. They just feel each other out, a couple of jabs.
Just like,
or fucking tank Lamont Roach the other day. First 4 rounds was dog shit. So we'll call out the men as well. Or at least all of these fights, they were busy, good punch output. So I'll say that as a positive, but generally, in my overall thought of the all-female card is I just want to see a little bit more adversity. I want to see a little bit more planted at their feet, staying in the pocket, letting their hands go a little bit more, and not being so quick to want to get on their bike and kind of put on a bit of a sweet science show. I think just need a little bit more, a few more like Shin, but that have got the skills and the power to back it up. That's what we need.
Yeah, the will. Yeah, but the problem is sometimes you can't have it all, because Caroline Dubois, she's an excellent fighter, and fair play to her, she was holding her feet. And I think if she was up against other women, she'd get the stoppage, but she didn't know she was up against some Korean beast who
fair point.
Go down and fucking keeps on coming and coming. Like
she'd have stopped. She'd have stopped. The third. I don't know if they're in the same weight division. I can't remember. That Irish girl Hennessey fought the first. She'd have probably stopped her.
Yeah,
probably stopped her
for sure. And it's just like, I just wish. I feel sorry for her, because she just needs to, like, just a little, because she's standing there with a guard like this, and she's just eating jabs, and it's just like, just tighten it up a bit. and just
Can
like
I say, going back a little bit?
The skill
Going
level
back a little bit.
Is so bad.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I just something I just on my mind I wanted to say. Going back to Raven Chapman just briefly before we sort of wrap it up and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing with her, has she been a little bit exposed the last couple? I mean, she's fought two good fighters in Art. I think I've got pronounced the name Artingstall. It's something like that, Artingstall, who I thought was very rangy, very good. You know, she had the skills. Obviously had that world title fight out in Saudi against Sky Nicholson, and she's been bigged up quite a lot as this kind of warrior comes forward, but bloody Nora, she's primitive and one-dimensional as fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But it was weird because she was getting in range, right? She was getting in range and then just not really kind of doing anything. Like, because that's when she had to do her work and let her hands go, and she wasn't really doing that. And I don't know, I just wanted to, was she a little bit maybe hyped up, 2 losses in a row? I mean, that was for the British title as well. And she got absolutely dominated, let's be fair.
Yeah.
She got dominated. So what I'm saying is she's fought Sky Nicholson for a world title, right? Gets schooled there against obviously a very good fighter in Sky Nicholson. She then goes down to British level against Artingstall, who's not been active the last 2-3 years, by the way. She's talented, but she's not been active. And then she looks absolutely miles off it against her at British level. So what business did she have fighting Sky for a world title? Am I being a bit harsh, Chris? I'm just saying.
No,
I'm being honest.
No, you're absolutely right, but it's the same thing again. The talent pool,
Talent
female
pool.
boxing.
Yeah.
Like if they don't have her, it's the next options to fight are even worse. Like skill wise.
That's true, yeah.
And it's like steel sharpens steel as well. I always say it. So when you've got these girls that really, really like got these natural great abilities, and then everyone they're fighting are just like not very good. So we're just getting used to winning so easily. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
that's
just,
do you know what? Your answer there is the answer. I'd forgot. You're right. The problem is there isn't the depth of talent to bring, because what Artingstall needed is, I hope I got that bloody name right. What she needed was a better dance partner, and Hennessey, if she had a better dance partner, that card would have actually been really. It was decent. I enjoyed it, but if those two had better dance partners, if the depth was there, that would have been a really good card, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what? I just thought, I don't know what the weight classes are because I got no clue in women's boxing.
We have researched enough on their weight.
To be honest, because, but you know the Artingstall, yeah, her versus Lauren Price, that'd be a fucking good fight because their styles are similar, so she'll be able to keep up with her. But,
well, Price is welter. The problem is, Chris, where it gets confusing, and I was going to do my research earlier and then I thought, I don't know if I'm that into the. I'm getting there with a female boxer, but I'll start looking into it more. She fights at welterweight, but the other problem is with the female, they go up and down in weights more than what the men do at those small divisions. Go up to super welter, middle, back down to welter.
Shields just heavyweight, didn't she? Heavyweight. But one thing I will say, I forgot what I was going to say there about like I enjoyed the Caroline Dubois fight just because Shin really impressed me. That was my fight. That was my fight of the night. And then all the others, they were a bit boring. But anyway, no, that's what I was going to say. Your point about women's boxing trying to get more things. But do you know the problem is? Until we get female boxers who are just knockout, we get a few female boxers that are knockout artists, like who are just knocking everyone out. Like the girl that lost to Clarissa Shields that Peter Fury trained, the Geordie. I can't remember her name.
Savannah Marshall. She got power.
She's got power. We need more Savannah Marshalls. Win or lose, they're knocking people out. Then more people will come, like Katie Taylor, Serrano, like them kind of, like all them kind of wars, them 50-50 fight. And if it's not a 50-50 fight, and you're fighting these other people who aren't on your level, just fucking absolutely knock them out. put on a show. They need to learn this, female boxers. If you want to get the big money, if they're really shit, just absolutely destroy them.
Coliseum.
Yeah.
You're right. You mentioned, funny enough, it's funny how we always seem to share the same thoughts.
Yeah.
I was thinking this today when I was preparing for the video, and I thought, Savannah Marshall, what's happened to her? There's been a few issues, meant to be on a fight. Then one of her cards got canned. There's something going on. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Savannah Marshall, she can hit as hard as she can really bang. She's tall, got the skills to back it up. All right, she lost to Karriss Shields, then she went and beat the American.
Karriss Shields is an amazing. She's probably the best.
Yeah, she's a fantastic fighter. But I tell you, you're right with that. If we had a few more Savannah Marshall, if she was on this card, that would just kind of it would really elevate female boxing just to that next level.
Then, because more people aren't going to support and watch female boxing until that starts happening. So until they start doing that, it's not gonna move on, no matter how much cards you put on, because people are just not gonna watch it. Well,
you casuals, people like me and you, because we just watch everything. But all your casual people, right? You need to draw in your casuals, right? You got casual football fans. Football had done this decades ago. You bring your casual fans in who like the Real Madrids and the Man Uniteds and whatever. You need your casuals to come in who want to see knockouts, who want to see blood, guts, and horror, like I keep saying. Your hardcores like us, because to give an example on the Beterbiev Bivol card, right? Your purists and your hardcores obviously loved the Callum Smith Boazzi fight, but also equally loved the Beterbiev Bivol fight. But I can almost guarantee the casuals much preferred Boazzi Callum Smith than they did Beterbiev Bivol.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Right, exactly.
So we need the casuals to see those and center of the ring,
bring the money in,
each other's heads in.
You've got to have
that's
balance.
What we need. Yeah,
that's you got to have the balance. Well, I think that's it from us. Could talk about this all day. Female boxing Bros UK. Like and sub. Check out the chapters. Lovely.
Nice, good stuff.